Okay. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending this session. Mainly, what we are going to speak about is the goals that we have in internationalization for the Joomla project during the next years. Um, we have been together with Sander, Marijke, and Peter. We started maybe, I don't know, 1 year ago, an internationalization team. Unofficially we start working, and I would like to see the next year like the internationalization year for the Joomla project. So let's see all the people that are here and all the people in the community that can see this video, what can we do to make Joomla better in terms of internationalization? So to start, we are some people here and we want to know where are you coming from. So we are going to do a small game. So please everyone stand up. Yeah. And can you come here where all these guys are? So all together here, please. Yeah, sorry. I moved very fast. Even you, Elvesio, if you can, leave the camera there and come. Okay. So the game is the world map. So let's imagine that we are in the world map that it's painted in the floor, and we are now in San Jose in California. There is the North Pole, there is the South Pole, and there's east that way and west that way. So, oh, sorry. So the thing is that you should fly now to your home. So start flying to your home. That's a funny thing.
Your home is which home are you counting?
Okay,
Are you Costa Rica right now?
I'm going to Barcelona, to Spain.
And that helps me know where to go.
That was getting interesting. Where are you doing there? You're in Africa?
In France. This is Spain.
France, Spain. I'm in Spain.
Would you leave
And
Costa
San
Rica?
Jose is
Okay, I'm going to fly back to Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, please. Here.
But I think you are a lot in the north. Oh, we are
No,
okay.
Yeah, I know, but
You are in Brazil. I mean, you should go down.
Bye.
Okay, now I'm going to pass the micro to do just small presentation, like your name and where do you come from. So
Okay. My name is Bruce Velo, Bruce Valle. Vivo en Nueva York y en Ecuador, entonces no sé dónde pararme. I live between South America, Ecuador, and New York City. Ajá. Okay.
Speak in Portuguese? Boa noite, boa tarde, bom dia. Meu nome é Elvésio, eu sou do Brasil. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. I'm Elvésio, and I come from Brazil.
Good morning, I'm Alice Grevet. Bonjour, je m'appelle Alice Grevet. And I live in France most of the time, but I also have a home in the United States, so I'm in between.
Merci. Hallo, mijn naam is Peter Martin. Ik kom uit Nederland, uit Nijmegen. I'm Peter Martin. I'm from Nijmegen. It's a small town in the east of the Netherlands. And yeah, that's basically it.
Hallo, alweer hallo. Mijn naam is Marijke Stuivenberg. Kom ook uit Nederland, Enschede. My name is Marijke Stuivenberg. I'm also from the Netherlands. Enschede, it's a little small town near the border of Germany.
En nog een Nederlander. Dit keer vanuit Weesp, naast Amsterdam. Mijn naam is Sander Potje. And another Dutchman living in Weesp. That's very next to Amsterdam. And my name is Sander Potje.
The name's Bond. James Bond. I'm Chris Davenport. I'm from England, and in English, that is my name is Chris Davenport, and I'm from England. And that's about all there is to say.
So you need to travel to your country. Let's say that I'm in Costa Rica. This is America. There's France. So the north is there, the south there.
Okay.
So you need to.
I'm in Africa.
You need to go to Africa.
Okay.
You're from Africa.
Yeah.
We're neighbors. We're neighbors. And now, please say your name and in your language and in English. And where do you come from?
Okay. My name is Naud Iheyus. I'm from Ethiopia. My name in Amharic is also Naud, so it doesn't have other meanings. That's it. I live in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, which is the capital of Ethiopia. Yeah.
Hola, mi nombre es Tito Álvarez. Vivo en Guatemala, ciudad de Guatemala. My name is Tito Álvarez. I live in Guatemala City. Pleasure to meet you.
And well, I'm going to speak in Catalan. Em dic Xavier i yeah, em dic Xavier i soc de Barcelona, però estic vivint a Costa Rica. So my name is Javier and I'm from Barcelona, Spain, but I live in Costa Rica. And that's all. Thank you very much. Let's move back to the session. Thanks for your help. Okay, how this session is going to work. We have some goals that we have established for the following years, but we want to have your contributions into our document goals. So these goals are have been seen by the Joomla leadership, but it's going to be evolving, and we would like to have this document, good document, to allow us to work forward during the next year. So I'm going to speak about the first goal that I already established, and I will spend like 5 minutes doing that, and I would like to have your feedback, and after that every one of the people here is going to tackle some issue, and we want to have your vision and your ideas. So the first goal here is to improve processes in translating the Joomla software and support the enhancement of the Joomla CMS multilingual system. This is one of the goals that we have, that it's focused on the Joomla translation. How many of you have participated in translating Joomla in your languages? That's awesome. Okay, so let me explain a bit. We have the first target, that it's support the creation of at least 3 new features on internationalization in the Joomla CMS. This last year, I want to show you something. This last year, I was participating in creating the language installer, and we are celebrating this morning that has been contributed this same morning, the language installer in the Joomla installer. So now when you find this screen in the Joomla installer, that's the last one screen in the Joomla installer, you're going to find that button. If you click here, you're going to be able to see a list of language, and you're going to be able to install language right from the Joomla installer. I would like to hear ideas of things like that we can add in our Joomla CMS in order to improve or make easy for your communities to, have language have Joomla in their own languages. Let me go to the second target. The second target is halve the dedicated time needed by translation team members to provide a language package for Joomla. We have very committed people in the team. Maraika is there, and we have these very committed people working for translating Joomla, but they have a lot of hours of dedication for doing that. And maybe we can find some solution that count on the community help to provide translation, so those people can dedicate less hour to translate, but more to review and improve the quality of the translation. Let me show you one example. This, I don't know if remember the milk, but for me, I saw this like 4 years ago, and for me, it's the perfect idea for the Joomla project. When you are using Remember the Milk, that it's a free app to a to-do list, if you are using it in a local language and they know that they don't have translation in that language, they send you a message in screen and says, hey, do you have 5 minutes for helping us to translate that? Hey, why not? So it basically says here, start translating. And it's very easy. Well, here they say what's the percentage of translation in your language. I have the Catalan language now set it here. So it says that for the main side, there's still almost a 10% to be completed. So I click here, and he asked me to translate things. Here it says phrase in English, online to-do list and task management. So I can write here the translation, and then I will go to verify the translation, or I can skip this phrase because I'm not really sure how to translate this one. So let me skip this phrase. I don't know. Yeah. And it's going to provide me another translation, another sentence that it's processing. Okay, I know how to translate processing, so it's... Okay, I'm going to add my translation, and I click on verify, and if I think that it's a good process, well, yeah. Okay, so now it's done. It's submit, and internally this system can say, okay, 3 people that knows Spanish submitted the sentence in the same way. That means that it's probably the best way to translate it, or maybe not. We can have, after that, a specialist checking the sentence, and if he thinks that it's the right way, he can approve it. I would like you to bring us new ideas on how can we build that for Joomla, because this is, it's going to be like community contributing, really contributing in an easy way to the translation teams, and reducing the time that the translation team spends on doing that. And finally, I have a third target that I want to show you, that it's meet the third-party developers. I don't know if you are third-party developers. Well, I know you are. What are your needs in terms of translating? Because I know that the Joomla project is trying to find its own way to being translated, but you are trying to translate your own translation, your own extension. So how can we be together and find solutions for together? So that's the 3 things that I wanted to share with you. And now let's open a debate. If you have idea of how can we improve the translation of the Joomla software, I'm happy to hear your ideas. And then after me, Mareike is going to explain the goal 2, that it's internationalize and translate the Joomla family sites. That is, I mean, let's focus on how we translate the software, and after that we can speak about other areas of internationalization. So does any of you have any idea of how can we improve that, or want to share another kind of remember the milk system that works in their countries? Do you have an idea? No, don't be too shy. Thank you.
This morning there was a lightning talk on an extension called Josetta, and I was wondering if that is something that would assist translators at all in this context for doing what you want. It doesn't do this sort of remember the milk type thing, but it does seem to manage the translation process a bit better. I'm not sure whether it's GPL or commercial or not. He didn't actually say, but would that be something that would be useful?
It's being installed on the magazine in the next few days, so we can ask you about. You can ask us about it.
I use an extension called Localize since 1.5. Now I'm running 2.5x, and it's been very helpful. And one thing, as I very often I need to translate extensions and stuff like. Something that bothers me a lot is that I'm in the middle of something and then I find one piece that is not translated, or it's a new string that has been added to the extension. So I think it would be so much easier if, like, the super user has somehow the possibility of seeing the string and clicking on it and then doing the translation right away. And if in somehow it could be at the moment it's done, like in Remember the Milk, submitted to the server, to the Joomla server, or to Transifex or Open to Translator, whatever that translation is at, it could be wonderful.
Hello. I don't know if it's possible, but Joomla 2.5 has an excellent language override. That means if you see something which you don't like as translation, or maybe if you see a language label which means that there is no translation, you can add your own translation. What if I don't know but what if someone can change this extension so that it will communicate all the languages to a certain place, to one server, so that other people can use it from the same server. So that people working on their own site will help out other people at the same time. I don't know if it's possible, and I don't know the consequences, but
would be also beneficial to languages that has formal and informal ways to translate. We also do the formal, but at some extensions you want to have informal, and that's 2 times translations. So that override file would be very beneficial to that. Another thing I want to bring up is in a lot of third-party extensions, they use strings that we have already in Joomla, like yes, no, cancel, save, and we have to translate it over and over and over again, and it would save a lot of time for translators if we don't have to do that again and again. If third-party developers would make use of the global strings in Joomla.
And in addition to that, it might also be an idea to create a kind of language file for default for Joomla with translations that are not actually used in Joomla, but useful for extension developers to use. So when we have a lot of extensions with the same kind of set of translation strings, we might add that language file like a kind of default set to the core. So extension developers can reuse that. For example, a lot of strings are specifically for Joomla in a kind of context, but you want to use that specific word, but it is not available in the Joomla core. So you have to create a kind of string specifically for that word. So that might be another idea for it.
Yeah, I was thinking the system you showed, Javi, the remember milk system. Actually, it's been used. Now it's been used for more people. For example, there's this project Duolingo, which is from Luis Bonan. He's the guy who created reCAPTCHA, and actually he's doing something similar because he's doing language lessons and at the same time translating the web. So you get to translate the strings, and if many people match that string, it gets to translation, and also the people is learning. So maybe I don't know, maybe or even take the idea, or even try to contact Luis and I don't know, maybe take the Joomla strings to it and see if we can cooperate, maybe. Yeah. So I mean, it's now all the group, all the group kind of things are like becoming popular. And I think that's a very good idea or a very good way to make it. And reCAPTCHA has been very successful on that.
Pretty much what I wanted to say was, is she mentioned it. There's a lot of redundant phrases and words when translating even the core components extensions of Joomla. For instance, if you translate something for com underscore content, maybe you'll find similar phrases and words when you translate com search or something like that. So it would be great if we could build a certain database or a certain language file that could be shared globally and simply to remove the redundant work. I think that would be a great idea.
Well, I think that maybe the back end you can add. I don't know. You can do that. Add a system that you can see when someone input, you know, a new modification into the language. So every time that you are at the admin, you can see that. So you can modify it or do any improve with that.
I think we could use something like I'm here. If we could use something like Google, the system like Google Translator, or even the Google, for example, in Google Docs, when you have a title, you just click on the title, and it becomes editable, and you just make a change, and then you click out of it, and then it's there. Or when you make a translation, you go and you can say, "Oh, this is good. This is not good. I'd like to make a suggestion," or some. But I believe it's got to be something very. I really don't know, because maybe it opens up in too many security hazards in the system. I don't know, but anyway, it'd be a great idea if we could do the easiest way so that people wouldn't. Because right now, what I feel is that, damn, I found the string, it's not translated. So if I'm in the middle of something, I'll do it later, and then I forget, and then I don't do it, and then I have to go back, and oh my God, it's not translated. And lately we've had a lot of that kind of problem in Portuguese, in Brazilian Portuguese. And so it's like you have to go back and forth, and a lot of times I forgot, and I'm sure a lot of people forgot it because it's been there like for months, and so it's pretty complicated. And because in now that Joomla has been having so many updates lately, and so there's always a new string, and oh my God! And now that some clients know, oh, I can update myself, and say, Vasir, there's something strange going on. It used to say save, now it's funny, and so and it's kind of boring.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to extend this issue. I'm going to pass the microphone to Maraika. I don't know if someone wants to say anything else on that area. Just to make sure for the video that that you have the language override in the administration in the Joomla 0.5. If you haven't checked it yet, it's going to help you a lot to override the terms of even the English. Like, for example, if you don't want to see the read more text, and instead of read more, you want to read more news, or you read farther, you can change it. You don't need to be a developer. You just search the string here and you modify it, and Joomla makes all that for you. Okay, so
If your translations here will be put back to a server on Joomla, then we can reuse it. That's what I meant.
I like the idea. We can work on that.
So kind of two buttons like override it or correct it. So and then I mean not all overrides are needed to correct in the original language file. So kind of selection, do you want to really override it for your specific needs, or do you want to submit a correction on it?
I know in Drupal they have a system on the back end. What you were talking about, there's a video about it. A guy from I don't know his country. It was somewhere in the east of Europe. I think he came from. He developed this, and but it all the strings are in a database, and you can from the back end you can send a suggestion for another translation, or you can make your own translation and keep it to yourself, so it won't be overridden when you update the language package. But there is a video about it. It's I think something like internationalization or localization. I think it was localization Drupal.org and then L10n.drupal.org. Somewhere there's the video on it.
Right now, I got the feeling that there are many translations available at Transifex and Open Translators. So, and a lot of, I really don't know how many, but I feel like there's a lot. And so, if there's some kind of connection with them, that would be great. That we could do that. I really don't use Drupal, so I really don't. I never passed the first installation screen, so I really don't know what it is. But it maybe if this person could be contacted, and maybe
Just adding like a submit button onto that screen to submit a suggested translation to a server would be pretty trivial to implement. I mean, it's just an AJAX call out to a server, and we just pick it up from there. That would be a pretty quick job if that would help.
Okay, I'm going to pass the micro to Mareike, and you can stand up here and show us the goals.
So what Javier was talking about was more the translation for the software. And what I want to talk about, our next goal, is translating the Joomla family sites. We have a lot of sites on Joomla.org, all those sub-sites we have there. And there's a lot of information, very good information on there, but it's all in English. It's not in another language. So I think it was a little bit more than a year ago, we tried to get the about page of Joomla translated. We did that on the docs wiki with sub-pages, and a lot of languages, a lot of people translated it in a lot of languages. It's there. And there's been a time that you could go to Joomla.org and see a link when your browser was set to another language. You could see a link at Joomla, the about page in your language, and also learn where the local communities in your language are, and where you can go to pick up the translation files and anything that's related to your country, to your language. That is still there, but it's very good hidden. If you're not that good in English, you won't find it. Yeah, that's a pity. But we need to do much more translations on Joomla.org, on the family sites, on the documentation, on the important articles that are there. From time to time, we have important leadership articles or informational articles about a new feature in Joomla, and it would be so great if this can be translated. So my idea for this is to have one place, set up a Joomla site. We have our multilingual feature. We already talked about Josetta. You can have an interface for that, where people can translate easy in their language. So translators can go sign up there. Even if it's just a small piece you want to do, you can go register there and help out translating all the important articles. And if translated, they can be shown on the Joomla.org family pages. There also the JCM magazine already. I was at the session yesterday. They are going to implement it with K2 and Josetta. So a lot of articles in the magazine can also be available in other languages, and that would be awesome if people can contribute to that. So that's in short what it's about, translating the Joomla family sites. So organization for translators and writers, also documentation. I already talked to Chris last night about planning that. The local help screens, for instance, very important thing. They're not translated in any languages right now in Joomla 2.5. That's our target to do. So if you have any ideas about that, I really would like to hear about it.
Maybe it's good if I show quickly what we're working on with the CLT. Quick update about the kind of redesign of the Joomla website to get those Joomla in your language message more back in prominent. So, can I open your Skype, Javi, to find my link? Let's see. Let's see if it will become visible. Oh. Hopefully it will load. Yeah. So actually this is what we're working on. Kind of update, refreshing the main website. A more clear menu, kind of quick links to all Joomla websites, so you don't have to find where you can be in the menu items. So just a long list of all sites, so you can quickly navigate to that. Some quick icons as well, getting started. We might need to re-update this mockup because we created a What is Joomla video. We want to give that a place again. An easy way to get connected via the social networks, etc. So it's more or less like we have now, but some refreshing and some user improvements. And one of the things that will be that the menu will be hosted at one specific location, so we can reuse that on all websites without the need to go into all these websites and update the menu. So we can make changes quicker. One of the other things is that we, and I'm going to copy the other link. Yeah, it's not opening. So when visiting the website, and there will be a kind of detection, and we're looking into the possibilities for that. It can be on your browser preferred language or your location. There will be a big, and it's not that visible on this screen, but it's a kind of yellow background. A big notice with Joomla, in this case said Joomla in the Netherlands. That can be, that will be in your own language, so you directly see it in your language. With a quick about Joomla, with a link to the entire page that is already translated in many languages, to get it back as a quicker solution for making Joomla at least a bit more multilingual as a start. And then will be a good discussion to see how we can translate all pages on the Joomla.org on an easy way, also manageable way, and so users can easily contribute languages to it. So I think that's up for discussion.
So that's detecting from your origin where you're actually accessing the site. Is that correct? Exactly.
Yeah, we are recording all this session. We want people in all the world seeing this session, so please use the microphone.
So if I travel to Brazil, okay, and I open it up in my browser, even though my browser's in English, will I have the opportunity to see that? Well, my wife might want to see this in Portuguese to be able to share it with a family member or something like that. Will I get that same kind of a pop-up from the origin of where I'm accessing it, as opposed to then having to go and click on that? He's chomping at the bit to answer this. This is great.
Well, it's a bit difficult because in France they speak 3 different languages, and you have one IP. So, which language should we serve you?
But that's where we're looking into it, because also the current pages we offer when you click on the read more link is based on a country, so not specific on a language. There's also information about how can you find the local community in your country, where can you find the language pack. Now it's already much easier thanks to Javier to install it from the Joomla backend, but some like where are the user groups in your country around. So that is the kind of information that's currently listed already on those pages. I can show a quick example. Yeah, there's several options to kind of detect what is the preferred language, and still it needs to be flexible to change it if you want to a different thing. In countries we can have more languages, but you can also have your preferred setting to English, but you want to see what's going on in Spain. So we need to be flexible on that. And that might reuse that system for showing specific content on the homepage to specific areas as well in the future. So that might be a start to see how we can make it real international. So not just translating articles, but also maybe deliver specific information to areas around the globe about the Joomla project. So I'm not sure if I will show really quickly. So at the moment we have about, and it's over here. You can also, with the globe, go to those pages, but it's hidden at the moment. So these are the articles currently already translated. So let's pick the Spanish one. So these are the kind of articles available with some kind of start. Where can you find documentation? Where can you get support? Where can you get extensions? But also like, where are the Joomla days in your area, or the user groups? And we have now already a big list of these pages available. And we need to allow it more easier to access them. And meanwhile, we can work on a good, real implementation of multilingual in the Joomla.org family websites.
For the people that are watching this video, is there any way they can contact you if they want to help on something, or at the moment there's no help needed, or what's the current situation with that?
The current situation is that we're finalizing the redesign. It's now with the mockups, and we need to change that to some actual code. And if you're interested to help out with it, please contact me on Skype, email. My email is sander.potje@community.joomla.org. You will find me on the leadership page on the Joomla.org website. So if you're interested to help with that, be able to do some front-end coding, you're much welcome.
We're gonna need a lot of translators, so I want to ask to everybody who's watching and who's here, if you can translate, please keep an eye on it. If we have this service provided, we really need you, and we need people to maintain those pages and to control, because if there's going to be anywhere spam on it or anything, we can't read it in Chinese, for instance. So we need people to really take control of those languages.
Maybe more about the kind of central translation system, or yeah, you explain it.
Oh, well,
Sorry.
What
We
a-
have also the last goal that it also involves you.
yeah. Well, I can do that. What we last year at the leadership summit, we had an item about internationalization, and what we discovered back then was we don't have an oversight of local organizations, JUGs, Joomla Days organizations, local communities. We do have some contacts with communities or organizations who are providing our translations right now, but we don't have really contact to them. And what we try to do in the meanwhile is we have set up a spreadsheet and we divided the world in 5 parts, and we have tried to make an oversight. And our next steps should be or would be to contact all those organizations and see if we have if we can have much more interaction. If we want to learn about their needs, of course, that will give us much feedback on how we can improve. And we also would like to get those organizations in contact with each other, you know, like JOGs all over the world, they can learn from each other. We yesterday with the leadership team meeting, there was also this same need to have more interaction between those organizations and to learn from each other, because somewhere in the world somebody did something cool and you can say to other organizations, oh, we did it this way, we organized it that way, and maybe you can do it also in your country like that. And of course the third goal of that is, if you make an oversight, you can see where Joomla isn't that much used, or there aren't any organizations in a country, for instance, and maybe we can help them to build one and to set them up with an organization.
It would also be very beneficial if those local communities know each other better and start to communicate between each other, so that it won't only be communication between Joomla.org and all the local communities, but also the local communities can learn from each other if they contact the communities directly. So if there are any ideas about how we can promote such things, then we would like to hear those.
Like, would be anyone of this group be interested in to get a kind of buddy somewhere on the other side of the world, also working with a local community, to see how you can share ideas about how you can create a good, solid local community as well? Would that be interesting to work on, for example?
Yeah, well, basically, for example, the Ecuador, I was talking with Javier. Uh, Not all the people know about what exactly Joomla means. Just they know that this is a system to build websites. But I was talking with Javier about that. At each country must be people who contact directly with Joomla, so they can get the feedback from another people that don't know anything, or know little about this CMS. And I think that that people can get a lot, that information on, maybe over there are other guys who can give ideas, more ideas, about how to get better Joomla at each country. I don't know. That was the question.
Tito, you had anyone else something to add on that? Javier?
Well, I have been collecting histories during this. Oh. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Well, then I was going to say that we need to understand that local communities have their own needs and their own situations. I spoke already with that girl from Cuba today, that she says that they are not being able to download extensions from the Joomla extensions directory because their network works at 64 kilobytes. So she was here trying to download here and take it back in the drive. So yeah. So well, we have many issues in every part of the world, and we need to figure out how can we collaborate one local communities with all the others. We have in Ecuador there's a lot of people interested in Joomla. I was living in Ecuador for a year, and there is a huge community, and there's even more women than men involved in the events when we did the event. So the Ecuador community can teach us how we can make gender balance happening in open source project. There's a lot of rich things that we can get from local communities to make Joomla better. And well, we have this spreadsheet that have we already said that the spreadsheet with the context. Okay, so that's all from my side. Yeah.
Just want to ask about the local communities. I think, well, for example, in Guatemala, our local community, well, you know that it's very small, and I think that's the reality of most of local communities. I know in the rest of the world, but at least in Latin America, that's like regular. I mean, there are not too many people like intended to collaborate. I mean, there are a lot of people that know Joomla and doing Joomla, but not intended to be in a community. So I think. In terms of translation and internationalization, Latin America, for example, it works like mostly the same. I mean, we speak the same Spanish almost, so I don't see why. I mean, we can like work together. Like we were talking yesterday, like to make things together in terms of Latin America. I mean, because they're very small communities. Even in big countries like Mexico, they don't have like very big communities. I mean, so I think we should be collaborating whenever we can, and whenever we can reunite those communities in larger blocks.
From what I have seen, it's not that there's not people wanting to contribute or participate as a community. It has been people that didn't know that Joomla was more than just a CMS, that there was a community behind it, and we have a lot to do. And we are actually, if we don't tackle the issue of internationalization, we are losing a lot of resources. We have very good developers, designers over there in the world that they are not connected to the project. If we do something to bring them here, we can make amazing things. Okay, so thank you very much for participating.